As technology gets more powerful and affordable, we're seeing some great ways to get into home surveillance without spending a fortune. We've checked out plenty of Wyze products in the past, but today we have the Abode Cam 2. Coming in at $35, it can stand alone or be combined with other Abode products for a complete home surveillance system. So let's dive in and take a closer look at the Abode Cam 2. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and today we do have the Abode Cam 2. Now this can either work standing by itself as a little surveillance camera, or if you want to use it as like a baby monitor or something like that, or it can also be tied into a greater Abode home security system. Abode uses 2 different gateways to control different types of surveillance around your home, and can also be paired with professional 24/7 monitoring if you want to ensure that your home is being watched after at all times. But for this review, we're taking a look at the camera by itself. And one quick note here on pricing, this does come in at $35, and that is on Amazon, so you can get it for $35 plus tax. If you're buying it from their website, they do add shipping on top of it, so if you have a Prime membership, I would definitely suggest getting this on Amazon if you're thinking about it. And so at that price, it's going directly up against the Wyze Cam V3, and so we'll do a little bit of comparison throughout this review. Opening up the package, first we see the camera and its attached adjustable mount. Also included are a USB power charger and a micro USB to USB-A cable. And then lastly, we have the manual for the camera. Moving on to overall design, everything about the Abode Cam 2 and even the unboxing experience seems very reminiscent of Wyze. The Abode Cam 2 though is a bit smaller than the Wyze Cam 3, making it a little bit more discreet. And here I do have a Wyze Cam 3, so we can notice the size difference between the two cameras, and the Abode Cam 2 is considerably smaller, especially that depth. So if discretion when these things are mounted is something that you're interested in, then definitely, something you want to take into consideration. The built-in stand here does let it move around between a variety of positions. You can obviously tilt it and position it that way. Kind of do whatever you want as far as getting it positioned. It comes with mounting hardware, so you can mount it on a wall and position it up there and get it angled the right way. But I still don't think that this mount is quite as versatile as what the Wyze Cam V3 can do. Mainly just, this thing can point basically straight down at any position. And the Abode, it can't quite do that. It can only go that far. So that's one big difference for me between the design of the two cameras. And one difference between these two cameras that I've kind of grown accustomed to with the Wyze is that this base is magnetic, and it comes with a little, metal circle and some sticky adhesive, so you can place this thing anywhere easily without drilling any holes, which is really nice. And that's something that the Abode does not feature. There aren't any magnets here on the bottom. So that's one thing that makes mounting the Wyze camera a little bit more versatile that I do miss on the Abode Cam 2. On the back of the camera is a status light, a micro USB port, reset button, and a speaker. And with an IP65 rating, the Abode Cam 2 is able to be mounted inside or outside, and you don't need to worry about it getting wet. And that's right in line with the competition like the Wyze Cam V3. Getting the Abode Cam 2 up and running is very simple. Just make sure you have the app, navigate to devices, and tap the plus button in the upper right. Then add your Wi-Fi details, power on the Cam 2, and push the reset button. Then scan the QR code with the camera. Then just name your camera, update the firmware, and you should be up and running. The 1080p video signal that's coming out of the Abode Cam 2 is pretty standard again for this price point. One missing feature though is that you cannot, zoom in or double tap to zoom in the app to get a closer look at things you have recorded or even live video. That's something that you can do with the Wyze products, which is, hugely beneficial, especially when I'm keeping an eye on my kids. I can just zoom in and get, a closer look to see if they're asleep or not. And that's something that I did miss on the Abode Cam 2. You can download and share the footage. So, within some other apps, you could zoom in and, get a closer look, but not having that in the app was something that I did find to be lacking. And then the Abode does do pretty well in low light and with the night vision mode as well. A lot of my testing, I had it in my kids' room at night, so it would swap over to that night vision mode. It didn't really stay in the low light mode at all. And even one night I tried shining it out my window here of my studio, and because there really aren't any street lights out there, then it did still go to the night vision mode. It didn't use that low light mode. But during the day, doing some testing with the blinds closed, compared to my Sony camera, which I had set up at a really high ISO to even get some footage in there, the Abode Cam was still able to keep it in color. And here we'll show some footage of that. So I'm in another one of my bedrooms. It's pretty dark in here. My camera that I'm recording on is up at 12,800 ISO, so it's really cranking to expose this. And as you can see, it still, looks a little bit dark in there. But on here, it's still in that, full color, low light mode, and it's making it a little bit easier to pick out what's going on in the room before it switches over to that IR night vision mode. So pretty impressed with how well this can do in low light for such a small camera. And the Abode Cam 2 does have motion detection and will also send you push notifications based on that motion. And diving into the menus, you can set detection zones, even though it's not quite as robust as what Wyze offers in their app for setting up a custom detection zone. But that really helps to kind of bring down some, false notifications. If you're getting, like there's a tree moving or some light flickering in the corner, then you definitely want to enable that detection zone so you don't get nearly as many of those. But if you want to take that to the next level and get person detect, which is in beta at this point, then you do need to sign up for one of the monthly subscriptions. There is the standard, which comes in at about, I think, $6 a month. And then there is the pro version, which comes in at $20 a month. And the pro adds 24/7 home monitoring surveillance. But going back to that person detect mode, it seemed to work really well in my experience, and then also really cut back on any, false notifications, or, if there was like my cat moving through the room, or if there was some sort of light flickering. None of those notifications popped up on my phone. It was only when like my kids were up and moving around in the morning. So it was notifications that I was more interested in receiving. I've also noticed that with notifications, the Abode app seems to push notifications much quicker than the Wyze app did. That's something that I think, a lot of reviews have been kind of critical of if you are using this for home surveillance. With the Wyze, those notifications do take a little bit to show up on your phone, like 20 seconds, 30 seconds maybe, something like that. And with the Abode, I was usually getting those notifications much quicker. So if time is of the essence for you when you are doing home surveillance, or have a home security system that you're really worried about doing something like that, or even for knowing a little bit sooner if someone is at your front door, then that might be something that you want to consider with the Abode Cam 2. All right, so here we're going to test the notification response on the Wyze Cam V3 and the Abode Cam 2. I have them next to each other there. I do have the person detect enabled on the Abode Cam 2, so with that subscription service there. So I'm just going to walk in front of them, and I'll get my iPhone up here, and we'll see how long it takes for the notification to pop up from both those cameras. And there's the Abode just popped up, and the Wyze. So there you can get an idea of what the delay is between those two, which one's a little bit faster. And the Abode Cam 2 does have two-way audio if you want to talk to someone on the other side of the camera as well. As far as storage, without a subscription plan, you won't have access to any recorded footage. The app will only display a live feed. But the standard plan will add 24/7 recording with storage for up to 10 days of video in the app. The Abode Cam 2 also works with Alexa and with Google Assistant if you want to view video feeds from those enabled devices. So overall, wrapping up here, for the price point, it's impossible not to compare this directly with the Wyze Cam V3. And they both have a lot of great features. Personally, I do find myself leaning towards the feature set on the Wyze Cam, just for what I want to use it for. I like the versatility of the mounting options, and I really like the ability to zoom in on the app and get a closer look at the video feed, so I can really see if my kids are still sleeping or if they're up or still moving around or whatever. And that's just one thing that I was really missing on the Abode Cam 2. But if notification speed is something that's really important to you, or you want to tie into the broader Abode, home surveillance DIY system, then this camera is going to be a great addition to that. It works very well. I think that the footage looks good. It does pretty well with person detection and motion detection and everything. And for this price, I really don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, and that'll do it for our review of the Abode Cam 2. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.